There we go. Hey! Just changing up my titles because they all refer to the dress up thing I was just doing. So I'm doing something a little different today. I'm not gonna do another paper animal dress. I'm gonna bring to that later probably, but not today. I'm gonna give digital painting a go because I haven't done that in a while. Just making sure all my stuff's connecting. And maybe my headphones will even stay charged for the whole cast this time. Still says connecting, but I'm just gonna have faith that it's gonna be fine. No, it's silly. I mean, I can see it on Twitch, and I can see it on the one that's connected through YouTube, so I think it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Cool. So this is something I started on my iPad. It's just been a while since I did like a little piece like this, so I wanted to try and get back into it. I wish there was a way to mute the alerts on the chat. Anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna pick away at this. Might be a little awkward of a workflow just because I haven't done anything like this for a while. So I might get real close to the camera like I just did because I'm leaning in trying to figure out what to do. So sorry for that if you don't want to see that. And too bad, because also if you don't want to see that. I put my music on real quiet in the background on my external speaker, because every time I do a stream I get a really lengthy, well not lengthy email per se, just I get like a multi-part email from YouTube telling me all the copyrights I violated and that my video will not be available for viewing, which is fair because it's definitely not my music. But I also cannot fathom the idea of working without music on in the background, so I don't know, we'll see if it gets picked up at its current volume, and if it does, then it's gonna be another lengthy email from YouTube. But I'm pretty sure they're still available for viewing on Twitch, even when that happens. I don't know if they have the same rules concerning music copyright when it's in the background and not part of a video. I'm not super sure. But yeah, so you can probably find my videos on YouTube, on Twitch, and you probably can't find them on YouTube. Sorry, I thought I had this finalized, but that's a hell of a... it looks like I have the same line going through for the tail and the flower, and I don't want that because it's just messy, so I'm gonna change that. That's better. Cool. So all I've done right now is I've just kind of blocked it in. Hello, Amatorsky. How's it going? I need to stop squinting when I try to look at things. I don't actually technically need glasses. I just have a bad habit of squinting when I look at little words. That's, I don't know, I don't think, it's definitely not like that thing where, I was gonna say that thing where you can like crack your knuckles and it gives you arthritis, which they've totally disproven, but I don't think squinting while looking at something is bad for you per se. It's probably just not a great habit to get into. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I am, sorry, I'm doing a little bit of multitasking because I just signed up for like a secondary stream site, but I think I'll probably just have to be a bad chat companion on that one. But otherwise, I'm good, thanks. I keep looking over there even though my camera's here. I also have the habit of doing that. Hope your day is going well. It's pouring here, so I'm hiding inside and being productive. Kind of. I'm still not sure how I want to color this. I'm just cleaning up the blocking right now. Just the fun, easy part. Like, I don't even think I'm settled on these colors. But if I start with a strong base, it makes it easier. Yeah, I think it's just the time of the year. It's just the rainy season. But is that just like gonna continue for you, or is that just the precursor to like actual spring and summer? Because I'm in Vancouver, so it's probably gonna be rainy for a while before it starts getting nicer, even though it's nice and mild. Almost done the blogging. I'm also just gonna sneak into my email and grab the reference picture of the cat that I sent to myself. Drafts. There it is. Downloading. Yeah, took this picture of a cat when I was walking around. It's gonna be my reference today. Because it was my reference when I drew the picture, so it makes sense that I would use it to reference shading as well. Snow, oh no, that's no fun. I think it's supposed to snow here on Saturday, but I don't know, it's never totally accurate when it's more than a couple days in advance, so I'm just hoping it's lying about that. I don't know, maybe you like snow. Do you like snow? And it's not so bad? I don't, so it's always kind of a bummer when it snows, for me anyways. Yeah. Ooh. Wow, is this like 1 for 1? That was incidental. Neat. I mean, like you can see I didn't trace it. The feet are in like totally different places. So it's just funny that my drawing ended up being the same size as the photo. I think I want cat to be a different color. Maybe a little more subdued. I find it helps sometimes if I start with a slightly darker base, because then I can build up my lights instead of starting too light and then I go even lighter and then it's kind of just too much. As opposed to starting with a mid-ground like this. And then I can pull in my darks and my lights as I'm going through. And this back here is really distracting because it's so bright. I'm going to drop that down. That's better. Yeah, I agree. Watching snow from indoors is really good. And I like when it's kind of like the sky is kind of like that light purple. And it's really quiet outside because the snow is muffling everything. And like, maybe it's like falling lightly and the lights are glowing from the street lamps. And that's really nice. But the second I have to like go get groceries or something, it's like 100 to 0. It goes right down to, I really wish this wasn't here. Because I don't have a car either. Well, that can be good. When I lived in Ontario, my partner and I both had cars, and we lived kind of far from the city because we didn't want to pay as much in rent. And so some mornings, like you start your day by going outside and chipping like 3 inches of ice off of your windshield. And that's not fun, no matter who you are, I don't think. this point I think I am just fiddling around with the colors to avoid starting the shading, so I'm just going to get down to that. Stop putting it off. Here, Katie reference photo. Okay. So I'm going to try and do this methodically. I don't know how well it's going to work. I'm going to try and like block in my major shades and then kind of go in with like the actual like, lighting and shadow and stuff like that. But I always get caught up in little details before I mean to. So we'll see. Adventure. The problem is I like it to look neat all the way through, even though the pictures that I've been happier with, they do start a little messy because I'm like blocking things out instead of getting bogged down in the details. So I'm going to try for messy. I'm going to try not to care all the way through. I don't know how it's going to go. I'm going to try and just let go, but not in any kind of musical way. The cat is, I don't know whose cat it is. I take pictures of cats as I go for walks. And this was one of the cats. I have like a little journal that I add to sometimes that just has the cats in it that I see around the neighborhood because I'm just casually cat obsessed. So this is just a neighborhood cat. I don't know what its name was. Wait, actually, this one might have been Toby. I think it had a name tag on. This was Toby, the very soft cat that I hope I will see again. And sometimes I do pet portraits and stuff, but this isn't somebody's cat that I actually know. This is just me creeping on somebody else's cat. So I'm already worried that I'm going to go in and try to block my lights out too soon. So I'm trying to avoid that, but I'm sure it'll happen and I'll have to go in and tone it back down. And I am going to be changing the lighting as well. Like this was from like a sunny day, but I've got this like glow coming from the bottom, and I've got some darker stuff up around. So after I figure out the basics, I'll start kind of considering that as well. Yeah, I think it's gonna be good in theory. See how it works out. This is a terrible orange for this. I know. I'm just trying to get in some of the spots again before I forget. Should I change that now? Thank you. Thanks very much. Like I said, it's been a while since I put more energy into something. I figured it was just gonna get harder the longer I waited, so I'm doing it now. Or doing it meow, I guess. No, now, not meow. Oh, my other chat is dinging. Bad at multitasking, so I'm not 100% sure why I signed up for this other thing. I think I like the idea of having other people around while I work, because I work from home and it can get kind of isolating. But maybe I liked the concept more than the part where I'd have to contribute to conversation. I don't know. Let's still give it a shot. already pissing me off how messy this looks. I'm trying not to think about it. Because I am going to go in and, I mean, not yet. Like refine these edges, and I mean, there's a long way to go between this stage and the end. I'm just trying to remind myself of that. So I mean, this probably will not be a one stream picture. I mean, it definitely won't be a one stream picture. If I'm gonna do this, I want to do it correctly. Did I get rid of? There it is. Trying to find the brush that had the airbrush effect, but also the pressure sensitivity. I found it. Yay. Yeah, I just started streaming on another one called Watch Me Work. Just throw the link in there for you. Yeah, I stream over there as well, but it's kind of like a that platform just connects artists while they're working, and the stream is actually through YouTube. So technically, I'm streaming on Twitch and on YouTube, but then the YouTube video gets bounced to the site at the link that I just sent over to you. I don't really check YouTube while I'm working, just because I don't know, I just don't really use YouTube all that often. It's not really a familiar platform for me. Oops. Ah. Nope. There. Oh yeah, I think it's pretty new. The person who got in touch with me asking if I wanted to try it out said I think like they're kind of recruiting right now for artists to use it. So yeah, I mean, I haven't really decided how I feel about it one way or the other, but the nice thing about it is that it works based on calendars. So like if you're an artist on it, you kind of have to commit to a time and a day, and I'm usually real bad at streaming consistently. So I mean, kind of what I signed up for it was to keep myself accountable, so that I know for sure, like, oh, I'm going to be streaming at 2 on Thursday, instead of like, I don't know, maybe if I feel like it, maybe not, and then I just kind of don't. So yeah, so far it's been 3 Thursdays in a row, which is my most consistent streak yet. It isn't really anything amazing, but it's pretty good for me. Just doing a little color adjustment there. Yeah, I think I like that better. Do I? There we go, I like that better. Oops. Oh, come on. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. Not technically cleaning up, just kind of refining a little bit so that this thing doesn't drive me insane. Yeah, I don't really tend to watch live streams all that much because I'm really bad at focusing on one thing for a long period of time, or even like a medium period of time. So I pop in sometimes, but then I tend to end up ducking out. So I understand entirely. It actually comes out more over here. I always get the most hung up on the face. So I feel like that's kind of the focal point in pictures. Like people tend to go right for the face, just like in a fight. So I like to spend the most time on that. And then if I get the face right, I don't worry too much. I mean, like, obviously I don't just throw it to the wind, but I mean, I don't get as caught up in the other parts of the animal or the person or whatever. Oh, who am I kidding? It's usually an animal. Oh, there we go. There. Cool. Yeah, thanks for chatting. And I'm not sure how loud I've got some music on in the background, but I don't know if it's audible. So, I mean, I'm not really going anywhere with this sentence actually, because if it is audible, then cool, you have something else to listen to, but also this video will definitely get taken off of YouTube. And if you can't hear it, then I'm sorry, you're just stuck with my voice. It's kind of a lose-lose? I don't know. It is what it is. Oh my god, so I've been trying to sell these shelves. There's just IKEA shelves, they're planks of wood with brackets. I'm pretty sure they're cursed, or that I'm cursed, because I have gone through 6 people at this point just trying to sell these GD shelves, and people keep on asking me like, oh, is this available? And then they never write me back when I say they are, or they do write me back, and then like they say, oh no, sorry, I changed my mind, I can't do it. There was this one woman who was telling me for like 4 consecutive days that she was going to pick it up soon, and like, oh, I can send you an e-transfer to hold on to them, and it's like, okay, cool, yep, anytime. And then she just never, when I stopped asking her about it, she just stopped replying. And like, they're shelves. Like, why is there any kind of, you want them or you don't? They're shelves. If you want them, come get them from me. Please. I still have them. I don't want to throw them out because they're still good, but holy hell. So yeah. But I don't know, maybe that's just online selling anything. Like, I'm pretty sure it never goes smoothly. But I don't know why. Like, it's not a house. Yeah, anyways. So yeah, I just had somebody who, like, we'd set a time, it was going to be in like half an hour. Like, thankfully I'm not kicking around the house just for that. But they just messaged me and said like, oh, I won't be able to do it anyways. Maybe on the weekend? Like, oh god. Yeah, maybe on the weekend. Maybe somebody keeps tipping these people off. The shelves are cursed, so when they want to get rid of them, they won't be able to either. And they just don't want any of that. I mean, at that point, who can blame them? Try not to get too... I think I like where this is going so far. I'm not super keen on the colors, but I am also okay with how the coloring style is going, and that's more important to me at this point than the colors, because those I can tweak pretty easily. I'm also going to remember to save this pretty frequently, now that I'm putting effort into it again. I'm trying to find some kind of space between this kind of stylized blocky coloring and keeping my transitions smooth. I think so far I'm doing that. But we'll see. Like, my usual problem is that I want to do that in terms of style. Like, I want some blockiness to it, but then I just get real swept up in like gradients and shading and detail, and then I step back again and the whole thing has become a bit muddled. So that's why I'm trying to do a lot of this out at like 33% rather than right in there. Oh, somebody else might want my shelves. Oh yeah. They might actually be able to pick them up tonight. That'd be real nice. I'll get back to them later. I won't do that on, on my stream. Today on stream, I'm going to be selling some shelves, I hope. No, I started this cat, so I want to keep going with it. I'm going to try and put some of that green in the eyes as well. This is just kind of a first pass. I know I keep on like saying reassuring things like that, but it's mostly for myself. So I'm like, oh, it's not going to stay looking like this. It's just the first go. It's not going to stay this messy, hopefully. I do actually like. Okay. Yeah, see, I'm already getting a little caught up in the idea of like what I want my overall vibe to be instead of just focusing on getting this blocked in so that I can have fun with it. And following some of these lines that I laid down. I liked how fluid they were, so I wanna keep using them. I think I'm losing it here. That kind of point between solid and fluidity that I wanted. I'm definitely gonna need to do more these color differentials? No, there's different colors. Because I want it to be kind of patchy colored as well. But I haven't really decided how I want to show that. Oh, that's kind of nice actually. I like that shape. I'm gonna darken that out. I'm still very much trying to find my digital painting groove, because it's not something I practice enough to get comfortable with it. So every time I'm kind of half starting over, which isn't what I want to be doing, but it's because I keep on dividing my attentions between so many different things, which is hard. I mean, like, it's not that I don't want to be doing this. Oh, hi, welcome back. It's not that I don't want to be doing a diverse number of things, because that's how I have fun with art, but at the same time, when I'm switching around so much, I feel like it's keeping me from getting to a place in any one of those areas where I am consistently happy with my work style and the stuff I'm putting out. So yeah, that's difficult. I don't know, right now I'd rather be hopping around and not bored with what I'm doing, which is something that also happens really easily for me, is that I do the same kind of thing a few times in a row, and then I feel like, oh, I'm not really doing anything with this. It's kind of fun in there, I like that. Yeah. So I'm kind of doing this sectionally. I'm kind of working my way down the cat. I definitely want some more. Yeah, there we go. Some more orange in there. And then I can bring that orange back in here, and that's better. That's more what I'm looking for. Yeah, so I'm going to put that color in other places as well to do it. It's got this kind of like mohawky stripe on its head. It's fun. Prop a spot in there. Kind of following the pattern on the photo loosely. But like I said, I don't want it to override the line work that I've set up here, because I like it. And I want to see if I can incorporate it into the final work without steamrolling it entirely in favor of the reference. Yeah. Pause. Little poofers. I will be pulling the colors from that glow up into this. But like I keep saying, I'm just trying not to do too many things at once right now. Yeah, get some of that poof in there. Cool, cool. I love it's got that fooky little, like, I love the belly. This cat was so soft. Nope, there's gonna be glow down there, so I'm trying to also remember the lighting that I want to do later while I'm doing this lighting. Like I said, it's not an established process at this point. Process. Multitasking. Which reminds me, I meant to buy concert tickets when I got home and I forgot to. So I'm going to try and remember to do that after I'm done streaming, because the tallest man on earth is finally coming to Vancouver. The band, not the actual tallest man on earth. I don't know how tall the musician is, actually. Never really bothered to check it out. I just know that his music is beautiful. Thank you. Usually I multitask in kind of a scattered, distracted way. So I'm glad that in this instance it's working out. I think a lot of this picture is going to come together when I start doing the top layer of lines, because what I like to do is go in and do a lot of kind of like little detailed lines, and they can really blend colors together nicely, which is why I like them, but they need something to sit on. So I'm trying not to think of all of this as just like underpainting, but it's kind of how it feels. This is just the stuff that I'm using to get to the good part. There's some color in there. This back here is still very messy. I think I want to try and find some better shapes for this. That's not working for me, that light over here, so I'm going to just blast right over it. The slightly grayer color. I like that better. Bring that around back here. Yeah, I think it was just that light that was throwing me off. It wasn't really doing it for me. Same down here. Yeah, there we go. Like that better? I'm sorry, just multitasking again. I don't go to concerts a whole lot, mostly because I don't like standing or crowds. So makes me sound really lame. So I only go when it's like one of my all-time favorite artists, because then I know that my enjoyment of the music is going to be more than my annoyance at having to stand up and be in a crowd. So the last concert I went to was Alt J. They're kind of a neat alternative group that uses a lot of different sounds. But apart from that, not really. I mean, nothing recently, anyways. And what kind of music do you listen to? Or like, do you go to concerts for it, or do you tend to listen to it at home more? move it back here again. Okay, I'm gonna try staying out here and see if that helps me block it in better. There we go. No, I think I've said in previous videos that when I say "there we go" a lot, it's not because things are actually coming together. It's because I am trying to reassure myself that they are. It doesn't mean they are. I lie a lot, is what I'm saying. But I am having a better time of it when I'm zoomed out here. There we go. If I keep that light spot up there, I like it more. Oh wow, 10 a year. Oh, nice, Tom York. That's gonna be an awesome concert. Ace, do you live in a major city then that a lot of groups are going by, or do you tend to travel more to see the people you want to see? Because I tend to always wait until somebody's coming like to the town that I'm in. Like I don't tend to travel for people. I mean, like if it was somebody I've been waiting for years to see and they came to like the next town over, I probably would. Excuse me. I really want to have this in the end be kind of orange. Putting this multiply layers so that I can add a little depth without worrying about totally steamrolling the stuff under it. I can kind of get more than one tone at a time as well. Doing it again. There we go. There we go. But I do like that better with the darker. I have a tendency to avoid committing to too much contrast as well, which is something else I'm trying to get over. Like often I'll finish a picture and I'll think it looks fine, and then I'll go back and look at it again like 12 hours later and it looks really washed out because I've just been avoiding the ends of the spectrum. Yeah, that added a lot to it. Oh, cool, Belgium. Nice. I've never been, but I'm glad that you're getting some good artists there. I heard Belgium's really pretty. I have to go there at some point. But I'd love to do more traveling in general as well. And there's always so many places to choose between. I mean, not financially. I mean, like, I usually have to, like, pick one big place a year instead of going to all the places I want to go to. So it's taken a while to work through the list. I caught myself. I nearly said there we go again. I felt the TH on the tip of my tongue and stopped it. Now more of a swoop there. The nice thing about a multiplier layer is I can only play with the hue separately as well. So yeah, just giving a bit more of a red tint to that. Okay, so I'm going to turn off my reference for a little bit and I'm going to play with the leaves. What's that one? It's over there. There we go. Crutch word. Ooh. Blue is actually quite nice. Since the cat is red toned, it might be nice to have the flowers pop more by giving them a blue. Yeah, I like that better. I'm also not super keen on the colors of the cat in general, but I am happy with the shading, which is something I can tell by, like, if I go back and look at the flat and then I look at what I've done, I can say that, like, okay, it's not the way I shaded it, it's the colors, because if I go back and I look at the flat and I think, oh, that looks so much better, that's usually when I've messed up the actual way that I've like laid down my color blocking. So I'm gonna see if there's something I can fix with oops, I need to pin this to the right there. Color blocking. I'm just messing around. I think by dropping the saturation down, I actually like that a lot more. It was some of the oranges that were throwing me off. Yeah, like that's just a little more into the red tone now. I'm gonna enjoy that. Right. So I'm gonna do the same kind of thing on the flowers. I'm just gonna go in, I'm gonna block in some, I'm actually just gonna go straight to the multiply layer on this one. Do a little bit of shading. I thought I was gonna have to cut this stream short to sell those shelves, but not anymore. Well, I do have some other errands to run today. But I want to get some more done on this first because it's only been, actually time flew by, it's been about an hour. Which I actually also kind of like about streaming is that it forces me to concentrate, because usually I would be bouncing back and forth between this and like a video and some web browsing and my Facebook and Twitter, but having this stream, I mean, even if nobody is like happens to be watching at the time, I find helps me a lot to concentrate because it gives me a sense of responsibility. Little though that responsibility may be. I don't know what these flowers are called. I got the reference photo for these ones from a bouquet of fake flowers at an IKEA, so it's not like they really had a tag on them. I mean, they probably had like a sales tag on them, but I don't think it said what kind of flowers they were. Not sure what's happening with the shape of this flower, but I'm gonna let that one slide because it's all the way down there at the bottom. Just helping to break them up, pick them apart from each other. I don't tend to use the airbrush tools. It's kind of new for me, but I think that it's got some good potential for the way that I color in kind of using it alongside that harder brush to give things a softer base to paint on. I think I just did 3 things and ended up with the same thing I was using before, but that's fine. Oops. Shellfish. When did I make a fish joke? Oh, responsibility. Ah. I mean, still a stretch, because I didn't say I was responsible for the ocean or anything. But then it would have been a good, pop-in. I'm surprised you can still type, considering you've been surrounded by cats for so long at this point. And I thought you were super allergic to them. And would be like convalescing in an air tent or something by now. Are you like getting immune to them finally, or have you just given up on fighting it and it's just your life now? Like maybe you're not actually allergic to cats at all, you're saying? Like, you could have had cats this whole time? What? Time to buy more cats. Do what I can't. How about if I just start buying cats online and sending them to you? Because I think that's a real good system. Because then I can still cat shop, but they go somewhere else. Sweet. Oh, so like you don't even have like asthma anymore? That's pretty awesome. That sounded sarcastic, but it's not. That's awesome if you don't have asthma anymore or have to use a puffer. I mean, if you touch a cat and then rub your eyes, even people who are definitely not allergic, I don't think you're going to have a super awesome time with a bunch of cat fur in your eyes. But like, if I do that, then I mean it's kind of game over. Like I've got to go like wash my whole face and my hands and everything because my eyes like get super runny and painful. Oh, that's fun. I like that glow on there. Just kind of messing around with layers now. Can I combine those? No, I can't. Okay. Let's see if I can start bringing some of that glow up into here. Yeah, it's fun. I don't want it to be too much, but I do want it to be noticeable. There we go. Cool, it looks like the other chat has dropped off a bit, which is good because I was not good at checking both of them. Oh, there it goes. Oops, wrong one. Oh shit, really? That sucks. I mean, I don't know anything about atomic, but I mean, it blows that there's no work there right now. I guess you'll have to come back to Vancouver. Now that it's getting nice again. How was that? How was the pilot work? Oh yeah, I like that. Oh, okay, cool. So at least it would be kind of like you just go in, do your thing, and nobody bugs you, and then you get to go home. It's picking out the eyes again. Yeah, I like that. Where did I put all the corrections for the leaves? There they are. Let's gonna combine those. There. Sometimes Photoshop does this thing where it stops acknowledging that I'm pressing buttons, and it's fun. It's a little game we play. Oh, I didn't combine that one. That's fine. Just trying to put some more definition in here. Because I did just kind of go full spray with the glow. See if this works. Most of this is just me like saying, I wonder if this will work, and then sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. Let's pick out some colors. I don't know how I feel about the cat. Oops. It's better. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I tend to end up going too timidly with the contrast. But at least on Photoshop, I can bump it up like that. Okay. I'm going to start jumping into some of the stuff that I really like to do, which is detail. Which I like to do on the top layer so that I can ignore the line work. You can already see by backing that up how much of a difference that makes in bringing things together, which is why I really enjoy it. I find it kind of therapeutic doing it as well, because it is just kind of like working with the colors that are already there for the most part, but just picking them out. Color pick's funny, because like when I look at that color, I think of brown, but then I color pick it and I am solidly in the greens. I'm not going to keep all of the line work, but I am going to keep a lot of it. Because I want to see if I can try and cultivate that style of painting. I won't be doing the whole cat over with these lines, just in places where I want to add emphasis or kind of fur flow. So usually like mostly around the head. That's where I end up doing them. I'm pretty sure this won't be a portfolio piece or anything, but I am having fun doing it. So that's all that matters. I'm saving real often, just in case. Well, it doesn't seem to be raining anymore. I'm kind of purposefully not checking the reference while I do this, just because for this part I wanted to see what I come up with organically instead of worrying that it's not accurate. And I'm sure I'll bring it up again soon and see where I can improve it, but for now I'm just gonna see what I do. Let's grab up the whiskers. I wonder how many emails I get from YouTube about my violations this time. So it's something to break that shape out. Yeah, I'm so much happier with that head now. Makes such a big difference. So I'm going to try not to touch the rest of the body until I've gone through and done that there as well. I cannot stop thinking about getting a coffee. We'll do that after this. Just doing a quick Twitter post. Ba-dum-bum. And I will very quickly respond to that guy who said he couldn't come pick it up so that I know. So that he knows I saw it. Clackety, 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 clack. I've had several people tell me I'm a really loud typer, but I don't know any other way to be. It's just how typing works, isn't it? Alright, back to it. I'll keep it in for now. Not sure how I feel about it. I'm still like catching up to Bluetooth technology, and it's so cool that I can use my phone to play music to an external speaker, but then also like control the music from my phone, even though the sound is coming out of the speaker. Technology, it's neat. So like, I just don't like these because they're not actually following. There we go. I want to maintain that line that I kind of implied for the fur. Cool, that's better. I don't know if there's any overlap between the people who are with me today and who were with me last Thursday, but I think last Thursday there was a dog interruption at one point where the thing down the hall started losing its teeny tiny little mind. I mean, I live in an apartment building, I know there's going to be things like that, but some new people moved in next door recently, and I think they've also started leaving notes for the guy with the dog about the dog being loud. I don't know what kind of note they left him, but I haven't heard that dog in like 3 days now, so I wonder if he's maybe worried about getting fined or something. Thank you! Hi! How's it going? Thanks for stopping in. Trying to remember what time it would be for you, and I'm coming up with a total blank. 10 at night? Is that right? Is it 10 p.m.? Here, I just realized I don't know if you have your sound on. I'm less sure of what to do in this area down here. It's got the glow. And I think I want to, yeah, I want to emphasize that more instead of just doing the line. There we go. I also definitely want to get some more emphasis on this little part here with the squoosh. So I'll bring in a new color. That's better. Cool, okay, I googled the right thing to find the time for you in. Hope your night's going well. Oh, okay, cool. Hope you're having a good night. I just don't know what I want to do in this area. That feels right so far, though. Nice, I'm glad. Yeah, my day's been good so far. I ran a few errands in the rain, ordered some packing materials. That's kind of it. I was gonna do like a Craigslist sale. Somebody was gonna buy some shelves off me, but they emailed to say that they wouldn't be able to make it, so I'm gonna get in touch with somebody else. So just exciting adult stuff. Are you working right now, or are you like, are you doing the job hunting thing, or working on freelance stuff, or are you bound by the 9 to 5? The reason I'm kind of lost in this section is I haven't clearly defined the fur pattern, and that's what I've been going off of in other areas. I kind of messed myself over here. It's here. Right now it's doing this. I definitely hear that on the job thing. I'm looking for work. Well, I'm looking to start a tattoo apprenticeship, and I feel like it's such a battle to make any progress in that area at all. I imagine it feels the same when you're just like handing out job applications left and right and like are not hearing back, and it can be really tough. So I hope you find something soon. I hope somebody gets back to you. So you'd be amazing at whichever job you end up getting. I don't know about prints, probably not. We'll see how it turns out when it's over. It's kind of more of an experimental piece than anything. Like, I'm seeing if I can get back into these techniques. But I don't know, I might throw it up on like Society 6 or something, because it's an easy place because they do the work for me. I mean, the downside is I get like pennies per sale, but it's better than nothing, I guess. So I'm going to stop trying to do the whole thing at once. I'm going to start moving my way this way again, because that was working for me before. There. Oh, thank you. Maybe I will make prints then. The downside about being in Canada is our shipping rates are garbage. I don't know if they're like any better in the UK. But I'm kind of like, if I don't want to charge people like $8+ for shipping, I'm kind of maxed out at selling 11 by 14s. And my printing options are a little limited as well without doing large runs of them. So that's why I end up usually deferring to Society 6, because I want people to have like a nice product, but my options for producing and sending it to people at a reasonable cost are kind of limited. But I know other artists find a way to do it, so I'm sure I'll find a way to do it at some point as well. Do you have any more plans tonight, or are you kind of in for the night? See that highlighted. Oh, Disney. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll cross my fingers for you. That'd be awesome. Is there a Disney in, like, oh, because I'm thinking of like Disneyland. There's no Disneyland there, but I assume there's a Disney. Like, would it be FilmWorks or would it be like one of their corporate offices? Okay, cool. Yeah, I hope you get that. I've heard they're one of those places where it's like a work hard, play hard kind of thing. Kind of like Google, I guess, like where the work can be really demanding, but like they treat you really good as well. Oh wow, there are 6 Disney stores just in London? I had no idea. I mean, yeah, they would need a lot of people for that then. Which is good. If they're smart, they'll choose you to be one of those people. Yeah, it's working out. Oops. I think I need to do something with this shape that I just haven't done yet. Yeah, just define the edges a little better. Oh. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, maybe I'll try doing that. Maybe I'll like see if because there are some printers in town. I just don't know if they do like what their smallest run is that they would do for illustrations. So I could find out and then start doing a pricing scheme accordingly. And then maybe if I do like a pre-orders thing, that would be best. Thank you for the encouragement. It's nice to hear. Merching is so challenging for me anyways because I'm not really like familiar with all the parts of it yet. So like I think the biggest things I've sold are just like cards or the cat coloring book is the biggest one so far really in terms of size. But usually it's just like mini prints or commissions and stuff like that. Because it's easier to package and sell that stuff, and I feel bad charging people like $15+ for shipping and things, even though I know realistically, like, I'm not doing it out of spite. It's just how it is here. It's coming together. Thank you. I hope so. It's I kind of start projects with one foot already out of them. Like I don't really think it'll go anywhere, so I don't really see it through as much as I should. And that kind of, I mean, obviously it's self-fulfilling prophecy if you do things like that, because then they're not as good as they would be. But I'm trying to take them more seriously now, because I want to get to a point in my life where I like what I'm doing, instead of just doing it to get by, which I'm sure you're familiar with as well. Like trying to do the thing that you want to be doing can be really hard, even though like knowing that when you get there, it's so rewarding. But it can be hard to wait for that to happen, because I mean, bills still obviously exist in the meantime, and it's easy to get stuck back doing the thing that you're doing just because it's there and available and you need the money. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree. I find like the people that I'm around are like the biggest difference. I mean, like yourself included, so I'm really glad I met you. Like people who have that attitude of like, yeah, we can acknowledge that it's hard and it kind of sucks sometimes, but also that it pays to think positively about it instead of, I don't know, I find like there are also people who are on the other ends of that, and like either they're like oh no, it doesn't suck, it's great. You don't have to, just don't acknowledge that it's bad sometimes. Or people who are just like, oh yeah, it always sucks, so what's the point? And like neither of those attitudes seem as realistic or productive to me. I don't know, like, because it definitely is hard sometimes, but then, yeah, like being negative all the time is also not, doesn't help. I mean, that's what I did for a long time, and it didn't get me anywhere, so I have to start feeling good about things when they're good. And like you mentioned, like really like leaning into it when they're good and acknowledging it and just feeling the moment. Oops. I don't know if the things I'm doing right now are actually like visible. I'm making such small changes to these like little areas that are kind of obvious when I do them bigger, but not so much when I do them all teeny tiny. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely agree. I've hung out with a lot of negative people and it didn't do me any good at all. So now I'm trying to be around more positive people, and they're such beautiful, great people as well. And I'm really, really feel lucky to have met the people that I know now. I love emojis with like really long mouths because they just get like comically weird. So I'm glad you used that one. Yeah, that spot's better. I think I was overworking it. The only problem with the little lines is they're kind of like hypnotic after a while, and then I realize I've done like 800 of them, and I've just blocked an area in entirely with them. Good face, Mark. Oh, that would be amazing. Do you have any like small press or like illustration conventions? Because I think that's probably my niche more so than like Comic Cons, because I don't really do fan art or people that often. That'd be really cool. I actually have family that lives in Liverpool, so I could like visit them at the same time. That'd be pretty rad. It's too bad I didn't know you a while ago because I was in London last summer. Yeah, that's probably true. It is a huge city, so I say like, oh, do they have this like really popular thing that the rest of the world has? The answer is almost definitely going to be yes. Mark, what is that second eye doing? The one that's just a bracket. It's like a sideways wink. Oh, cool. That's like if you end up seeing it somewhere, that's awesome. But like, I should Google it and find out more for myself. So I'll also do research, and then if you find out anything, then please let me know. I could definitely use more trips over to England, and I'm sure my extended family that I never see think so as well. Thank you. Just if you have the time. I'm sure there are a lot of things that I tell people I'll do, but then I say a lot of them, and I end up forgetting what they were. So I'm saying if you end up doing other stuff as well, do not feel bad if you don't end up looking it up because I have absolutely been there on a regular basis. Some more glow over here in Whisker Town. come back to those later. Excuse me, I think I just burped into the microphone and I apologize for that. Do another multiply layer so I can put some more darks in. Yeah. An IRL meeting would be so rad. I've only ever met, it was one person online that I was friends with. Sorry, met one person in real life that I was friends with online. And it was really, really awesome. And I actually ended up being a bridesmaid at her wedding a few years later. And that was really cool. Yeah, I would love to meet another online friend. And actually, yeah, the cat is directly from a reference picture. Like different colors, obviously, but like, he was a cute kitty from the neighborhood that I got to pet. And I haven't added him to, did I add him yet? I have a journal of cats. There we go. Did I add him? No, I haven't added him yet. But I have I add cats from the neighborhood if I pet them. Sorry, it's hard to tell what's happening because there's a delay on my Twitch. So I'm trying to see where I'm holding the thing. I can see better here. I open broadcast. Come on. There we go. Yeah, so I've got like this guy and this one. And this is, I think, my friend's cat. And then there was one from our house, near our house. And then I've only sketched him and I haven't colored him yet, but this is a cat from the carpet store. Thanks. That was, yeah, his name is Snoop, which I love. And he lives in our apartment building. So we actually get to see him a lot, which is great because he's an A+ cat. Very soft, very friendly. And he has a friend cat that he plays with in the alley, and it's really cute. Oops, I forgot I wasn't pinned to the other layer. I find a way to edge this out without just going full blur on it. Nice. So like you have a cat that you don't even have like long-term responsibility for? That's almost better. Like he's your assistant. I can totally see that. I imagine his duties are limited since he doesn't have opposable thumbs, but I mean, for morale, I think every office should have an assistant cat. I used to have a cat back when I lived in Ontario, but then I broke up with my longtime partner and I ended up moving into like a real small like studio apartment, and it was like one room and a kitchen, and my poor cat was like, he was an indoor cat because he was too soft for the world, and he was going crazy and I was going crazy, but luckily I had this beautiful kind friend who has a house and has several other animals, and she took him in, and he's really, really happy there, and he gets to run around and he plays with the other animals and he has a backyard. So I miss him a lot, but he is definitely doing better where he was, and I can still visit him when I go back to Ontario, so that's good. His name was Jack Jack. So fluffy. Yeah, he was a sweetie. But he's the inspiration for a lot of my art. Actually, because he's just so fuzzy that I love to draw him. He's like a really expressive cat too. I'm seeing if I can find a photo of him real quick. Real quick. Right, real quick. Oh, where'd they go? I thought I had a whole folder of. There they are. Is that him? Nope, that's two cats we fostered a while ago. Maybe I put him in a different folder. Anyway, it's just like a black, long hair, beautiful, fluffy animal that I'm gonna try and find the photo for later because he was lovely. He was the inspiration for my holiday cat. And I've definitely dragged him up a few times. Oh my god, so sweet and soft. Oh, I love his big wide nose. Like the bridge of his nose is really wide. That's really sweet. He's got like a beautiful, like, puffy front. Is he part, what are they called? Part Siberian? I don't know if you know. Like those beautifully, like, luxurious, fluffy cats that are apparently really good in cold weather. Oops, wrong way. This. Oh, I love when people show me photos of their cats. Oh, awesome! He's a Norwegian forest cat. Oh my god, that explains the outdoorsy looking. Like he's got like a tough face. Like he could actually survive in the wilds. My cat absolutely did not have that. He was part Siberian, but mostly like ragdoll, I think. So he was just a big soft baby. That's so high def. I love it. Did you take that photo? Oh my god. That makes me so happy. Oh, that's so good. I'm gonna show that photo in my boyfriend later. Got a good camera. Dang. Which, I mean, makes sense since you're in film. That was just, thank you so much. With your phone? What kind of phone do you have? Really? It's a Samsung? Oh man, I've just been buying the wrong phone. Like, I've got a Samsung, but it's like a Galaxy Neo S, and it just takes garbage photos. That sounds like it. Like, from that photo, that's gorgeous. Like, mine are blurry as hell. Maybe I'll get that next. I always cheap out when I get phones, but I also do need a good camera, so maybe I'll just take the money that I was going to put into a new camera and just get like a phone with a really good camera on it. Kind of a 2-for-1. Here. Samsung 6 Edge. Is that like a newer one? Like I'm assuming pretty new if the camera's that good on it. Because I'd heard before that like iPhone was the be all end all of good camera phones. Can I get away with this? Try this. Yes, I can. Oh, okay, cool. So that's even better because then I wouldn't have to give over my whole oops, arm and leg to buy it. That's nice. Forgot to go in and kind of clip this down here. Oh, I didn't think of that. That's a good idea. I've always just kind of gone to like the phone store and gotten them there, but they would be more expensive there. And you can usually buy phones like unlocked as well, can't you? Even if you're getting them online. So I think when I bought mine, it was already unlocked, and then I was just able to take it over to my current phone plan. I really want that to be like a, there we go, more of a yellow green than a turquoise. Do like this. Sweet. Okay. Yeah, slowly learning about technology and the options it has. I'm gonna start putting some time into these little baby plants. But first, I'm gonna soften those lines down here with some of that glow from the neon. It's better. And just a little more glow in there to hide these weirdly messy blobby holes that I've put in everywhere. Which seemed like a good idea at the time. And now I'm not too sure about it. Oh, that's amazing! Oh, that's so exciting! Congratulations! When is that going to be? Well, I would be too, but you're going to do real good. Just the way you've so like eloquently been talking to me about it. Like I know that you know what you're talking about, and so I'm sure you will nail it. But I mean, I understand the terrifying part of it. Like even if you know that you are qualified and you know that you know your stuff, it's still. But hopefully, like it's terrifying in like okay, good, in an exciting way, as opposed to just like, oh god, what is this? Like terrified and excited is really good. Oh, it's gonna be amazing. And like May's so far away, you've got tons of time to prepare. Do you is there going to be a focus within that? Like, did they give you a focus within that, or like within the scheme of like within the scope of ADHD? Can you kind of pick your own direction or touch on as many or a few topics as you want to? Oh, cool! Nice. I will absolutely watch that. Nice. That's really cool. That feels so good to like to know that you're going to be talking about a topic that you're passionate about that affects you directly, but within that you can kind of tailor it to the angle you want to take on it. Oh, okay, cool. So that's it won't just be kind of like hitting the ground running at the conference. I mean, that's like I can see that being a good thing, where like you can get some opinions on like how you're covering the material, I mean, hopefully in a constructive way that's actually like makes sense. But I mean, kind of, so you get like a dry run at it, which I mean, for me anyways, I would think is better than just like going from 0 to a room full of people. To know that you've already passed it by some people and they've been like, yeah, it's good. I don't know if I like what I'm doing here. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Do you have any ideas so far on how you want to approach it, or is this like pretty recent news and now you still have to like sit down and do your planning? Sorry, I'm skipping over to my other chat first. Yeah, that sounds like a good way to like, especially to dive into it. 'Cause I mean, it gave a lot of context, and I mean, personally helped kind of nice. Yeah, like that's really like a connecting point for people, which I think would go over really well to any number of people because it's both personal, but like I'm sure we'll touch on people's personal experiences, like just the range of things that you talked about in that one history, like did cover a lot, and I'm sure it'll resonate with people. And it's really awesome that you get to share like not only your history with it, but also be in an environment where you can like talk to other people and hear about how their journeys have gone and like how they're living with it or how they maybe are still looking for like coping techniques or things like that. Like, yeah, I tend to like default to that as well. I think it makes for a better, not necessarily better, but like it keeps people kind of more in it when there's some humor in a talk. I mean, like obviously not like slapstick and you're dealing with a serious subject, but and being entertaining, I think, is never a bad thing. Like for me, I kind of use it as like when I'm nervous, I try to be funny. So I find it helps to combine those two things if I'm public speaking. Like, oh, I can be funny because I'm nervous and also because people like to be entertained during a talk. Was that his thing? Was he like funny because he was nervous? I didn't realize he had that depth of character. Oh, is that one of his things? Okay, yeah. There we go. That's what it is. That's totally it. It's such like an easy thing to fall back onto. It was sometimes really convenient actually, like especially for public speaking. But I found like personally I do it in like not great moments as well. Like if I'm having a serious discussion with somebody, then I'll still like find myself trying to make jokes about things and like afterwards we'll have to apologize and be like, I know this was very serious. I'm not trying to be goofy. I'm just feeling awkward. Oh, the Chandler character? That's a neat take on it. I don't think I've watched enough Friends to really assess them in any way more than I know that like Chandler's the funny one and Ross is there for some reason and Monica cleans things. Yeah, yeah, that is definitely relatable. Oh yeah, I don't know why somebody said like the worst show in the whole world. It would be about Ross and Ted from How I Met Your Mother, and it would just be called Nice Guys. And it would be fucking horrible. Just the most painful thing. They're such dislikable characters. Yeah, somebody online suggested it, and I think it just had like all the notes on it. This was like Tumblr or Twitter or something. We're just like, oh my god, that's the worst thing. You have put the worst things together. I've never seen that note before. I hope I didn't miss a good one. I'm sure they're all good ones. I hope I didn't miss a crucial one. Let me check another again. Yeah, that also sounds really familiar. Um, like my brain is already 5 steps ahead of what my hands are doing, and then I get like, I had kind of a moment like that today where I was feeling really anxious because while I was doing one thing, I was thinking about like the thing I had to do after that and the thing I had to do after that. And so it made the current thing feel like it was getting done so slowly because I was like, what the hell? Like I should be done this thing and already doing the thing after this and then the thing after that already. Even though I know like realistic, and I like took a couple of like deep breaths and realized like it's okay. I'm just gonna like I'm gonna wash the dishes and go from there instead of kind of spiraling out and freaking out about everything I need to get done. That's when I end up wandering around the apartment with like arms full of things and like this is the trash pile and this is the file it away pile and like in my hand are like the pencils I need to put away. Like, oh, I'm glad that you think so. Not because I mean, obviously on some level it's kind of like, oh, I wish I was just functioning normally, but also I feel a lot more confident about looking into it now. I mean, as before, when it was kind of like, oh, I'm probably just using this as a crutch. Like, I probably just like really want there to be something wrong so that I don't have to like be better at what I do. But if I can actually get some like official, like not help, but I think you know what I mean. Like, if I can get some official traction with it, then I will feel a lot better about where I'm at and how much I'm doing instead of just being down on myself all the time about like how much I'm not doing. Excuse me. So you're still really helping me, so thank you. And you're going to help a lot of people at that conference as well. Yeah. It feels really nice to have somebody be like, oh, I know what that and that and that is. Because I have like tried to say to people this kind of thing before, like, oh, you know when you're doing this thing and your brain is just so full of all the other things you need to be doing to the point that you can't even focus on the thing you're doing, and they'll just be like, no, I don't. But that doesn't sound great. I'm like, oh, me neither, joke. Uh-huh. Like, but to be able to say to somebody like, oh, you know, you do this thing and you freak out because you're not doing everything at once, and have you actually be like, oh yeah, I know that, is like really, 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 really validating. And I don't want to cry on my webcam, so I won't, but that's how I feel about it right now. It's just really, really grateful. This is definitely my most emotional live stream ever. In a good way. It's a good way. Oh, emotional art time. Oh shit, what did I just do? Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. There we go. Oh, there we go. I got distracted and I ended up making two empty layers and pinning one to the other one and then wondering where I was. That's better. Yeah, I hear that. I actually am on the, I'm using the IUD right now, so I don't get them. So sometimes I'll just have like a really irrational day and then be like, what the? Oh, I guess it is about that time, which is always fun. Oh my God, all the time. Absolutely all the time. Or like, I'll have my phone and then I won't have it, and I'll know that somewhere in between those two things, I put it down somewhere. And I vaguely remember the act of putting it down, but I also don't know if I'm remembering the last time I put it down. And so it could be literally anywhere in the house. I think once it was in the bathroom. Yeah. It's like, oh great, thanks for just like skipping that whole section, brain. I didn't need that information anyways, I guess. It's cool, I wasn't using all that memory. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which sometimes is kind of like, oh cool, I guess I'm at my destination now, which is fun when you're walking and really scary when you're driving. Which like thankfully I've only had happen like a couple times where I'm like driving the freaking car and like, oh, I'm at work. Oh, that's not good. Right? Yeah, it'd be nice if there was like a playback button or just something so you could at least be like, oh, I wonder what I missed. Oh, a friend's birthday? Oh, great. Is terrible memory a part of it? Because my memory is so bad that it honestly scares me sometimes. Like people will say things like, oh, like, you know, like last summer when we did this thing with these friends and like we went here and did that. And all I can say is like, that sounds like a nice memory to have. I'm sure I was there, but I don't remember it. Cool. Okay, again, very validating to know I don't just have like early onset Alzheimer's or something. Because holy shit, it's so painfully bad. Yeah, okay, good, thank you. I mean, not good, obviously, but you know what I mean. Like, fuck. It would have been nice to put some of these pieces together earlier in my life. But I guess that's how it goes. Like you can't wonder what if, or you just kind of fall into a spiral of like, oh, what if like my parents had gotten me treatment, or what if I had known that I needed to find coping techniques like 3 years ago or something. But yeah. Yeah, I definitely hear that. Like some things I can recall in like perfect clarity, and then other things, which I mean like oh, the time we drove here, like there were a bunch of us in a car, we went here and we did this stuff like all day, and it's like no, footage not found. Sorry, like it's not that I don't like you as a person. It's not that I didn't have fun. I'm sure it was great. I just can't. I can't bring that up again. Like it's gone. I'm trying to pick up the edges of these flowers so they're a little more poppy. Which would be funny if they were poppies, but they're not. I probably would have used that joke earlier if they were. Yeah, it's super, super frustrating. Have you found that using your personal like coping techniques and through practice and stuff that your memory has gotten any better, or is it just one of those things where it's like, oh, them's the breaks, it's going to be like that? Oh, that's much nicer. Yeah, I think I get that actually. Like if something elicits a strong emotion, or do you mean like you have to go out of your way to associate a feeling with it? Like in that moment, you have to kind of make the effort to recognize how you're feeling, and that helps? Or just that you're more likely to remember things that do affect you emotionally? Sorry, I'm occasionally bobbing to the music. Mm-hmm. I know I said this wouldn't be a one stream painting, but it might actually be. It's going faster than I thought it would, which is nice. Okay, yeah, I can see that. So it sounds like if there is, excuse me, like if a situation like brings up a more powerful feeling, then that makes it more memorable. I hope that works with positive emotions as well, so you're not just kind of stuck primarily with negative memories, although I mean, I know that can be the case for me as well, where I'm more likely to remember something if it was, because I mean, bad emotions tend to be just so powerful that I mean, that's why I can do that thing where, you know, I can't remember what I ate for dinner 3 days ago, but I can remember that time I embarrassed myself in 6th grade in like perfect clarity. Sorry, was that a yes to the it working for positive emotions too, or a yes to you're stuck with a bunch of negative emotions? Because those are the ones like sticking around. Oh, okay. Yep. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, one of the things my therapist told me to do last session was the exact same information that, or the exact same tips that you gave me, was to like when you're in a good situation, like really sit in it, like really like take it all in and really focus on how it's good and why it's good and like all the good things about it. And I guess the idea is that eventually it gets easier to, I mean, for one, like to recognize the good in the situation. Because actually, it's funny that I didn't even think about this the first time. You gave me that tip in relation to dealing with ADHD, and she gave me that tip on dealing with anxiety. But it's the same. It's the same information. So that's neat. Hmm. Yeah, I can see how it would be hard to rewire when you're used to focusing on the negative. Sorry. Um, but it does also sound like it's something you can train your brain into doing to like actually focus on the good things. And not necessarily like instead, like you probably also recognize the negative, but to not dwell on the negative as much, or even just to see the positive more often, still sounds really emotionally beneficial. I want some more darks on this. Oh, that's why I've got my transparency on. I was wondering why my... What's happening here? Is that not... Oh, I think it's just my screen calibration or something. Oh no, what color is this really? Shows I use Flux, but I don't think it is activated. Disable for an hour? Okay, thank God. Same picture. Sorry, same colors. I was really worried I'd been doing this entire painting with like a colored screen on. No, that's cool. I know it's late there. Thank you so much for hanging around and talking to me. And this was really great, even though it's kind of like voice/chat. It was still really fun. So yeah, I'll talk to you again really soon. And yeah, a Skype sometime would be really nice actually. Yeah, we should figure that out. In the meantime, have a lovely night. And I hope you get some cat petting, and I will continue to spend time with this virtual cat. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna get outside after this. Bye. There was a... Probably looks better as a bunch of little X's instead of doing that, but I stand by it. Yeah, I'm not sure how much I really want to define everything in here because I don't want to overwork it. Because I think part of the reason I'm enjoying it is because it is kind of simple in a way. I mean, it's not like fully rendered or anything. But I know I do want some more color variety in here. So I'm going to start by kind of picking these out. Which one is this one? I might just go in and throw in a little bit of fake shadow. I'm really just kind of picking at details now. Oh, that's what I could do. Let's pick out the collar and maybe even give that some lighting. So we'll see how that goes. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, that's fun. don't want to overdo the glow too much by adding bounce like up on these leaves here and stuff. I think that'll be too much. Still trying to offload those shelves. Oh, I should just put them in my what's it? Just say I need to be buried with them or whatever. So that's where it's going. Oh, I appear to have turned these the wrong color. There we go. Oh, that's right. I forgot I wanted to do this. I do want to do some fun little weebly glowy things because I like the idea of it. So I don't know how it's going to go, but no, not with that. Probably just with my sketch brush that I like to use because it's got the slightly rough edges. But I am going to see if I can also just have it glow right out of the gate. Without Photoshop shutting down on me. Yeah. Okay, let's have some fun. Let's immediately mess this up. Oh, it's on screen. I just want normal. There we go. Oh, and actually then I can have some more bounce lighting on the leaves as well, which I do want, because there will be those glowing elements closer to them and it won't be as unrealistic. I swear to God, every single stream I say something is like realistic or unrealistic, and my subjects are always just, I mean, they're like skunks in hats and this radioactive cat or whatever's happening. Not things I need to worry about realism for, but choose to, I guess. So y'all are just doing checking out the work by the other people in the streaming group. They're doing some cool stuff. Oh, I thought I hit enter. Photoshop's not a huge fan of me streaming. That's my computer in general isn't actually. It usually it makes me switch back to the default color scheme for my desktop whenever I stream, which is kind of passive aggressive, but alright. This is fun. Yeah, I like this a lot. Something I'm still not super sure about is those flowers on the left. But I think that's less about the... Okay, I'm going to do it quick. I'm just going to see if I can fiddle around with their color real fast and see if that makes me happier, or if it is just like that the coloring style is different. Okay, if I make that... Shut up. If I make that bluer, do I like that more? Or is it something else? Maybe it's just they're not bright enough. So they're not, I feel like they're not, no, maybe it is the color. So, I think that's part of it. Oh, I think actually what's also bothering me is that they start dark at the bottom. Even though that's technically where the light source is. I didn't even think of that. So I am just kind of slapdashing this. Like, this is obviously like a really... I'm not going in and painting it properly. But I want to see if that's... Hello. Oh, hello. Actually, yeah. I think I can do something with this. But I'm going to have to do it with the overlay there as well. Yes. If it's not creepy, then it's not art. There. I'm just going to tag that one so I can find it, because I'm a messy layer maker. And here you are, so I'm going to copy this over to here, so it's, nope, get off. So it's on both of them, and I love that so much more now. That's much better. Great. I was talking to a friend about the movie Love Witch, which I have seen many times now. It's a fun one. I do recommend it. Yeah. It adds some of those yellow glowies as well. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Oof, I'm sorry, computer. I've been saving really often because I'm not sure if I'm like inching towards some kind of angry shutdown. I like this. It looks like it's powering up now. Which one's the pink? Oh, I don't think I did the pink one yet. Or the dark pink. The magenta or whatever. Nice. So now I can happily go in and add some more bounce lighting because it makes sense based on the new light sources I put in here. It won't just be me throwing it around. Whenever I do a shortcut thing and it just doesn't respond, I get real worried that it's gonna like shut down on me. The last painting I did was a lot different than this. Like this one, what am I trying to say? The last one was the goat with the flowered dress, and that one was much more about kind of starting vague and then going in for details. And this one I feel like I've been able to kind of start vague, go in for details, and now I'm coming back out and kind of doing some more work from this level, or from this distance. And it's, I don't know, it's a fun note to kind of, I don't know about end on, because I don't know how much more work I have to do. But it's kind of a fun break from being right in there. But again, I'm trying not to, even though I'm having a lot of fun with it, I'm trying not to overdo it. There we go. So I'm just doing this to see if things are standing out that I want to be standing out. It looks like for the most part they are, but I want the leaves at the top to be darker than the ones down at the bottom, for sure. So like that's already nicer. Just gonna condense that a bit. And pump it up. Bump it up. Is not a real song. There. I want to darken these up a little bit. Just want to do. I'm not going to do the same thing for the cat. I feel like it's too uniform. And I want to see if there is a Photoshoppy way of fixing that. I'm not going to leave it like that. Maybe not quite that extreme. Yeah. And I need to go in and finish off the flowers. That's my problem with using layer masks or effect masks on top of everything else, is figuring out where they've hit and where they haven't, because my layering is a mess. So I'm going to take out the, there we go, that's better. It's a more exact mask. Hey there, kitty cat. It's a little much. I'm gonna put that back. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Everything's standing out more nicely. Technically, the top of the hydrangea sounds right, but I don't think it is. Technically, the top of this plant on the left, the top should be darker as well, but I really like it is, so I'm going to leave it, and I'm actually going to go do the same kind of thing over on this one to make kind of like the idea that the plants are a little bit glowy as well. That's nice. Yeah, I'm happier with the color arrangements now. Cool. I think that about does it. I might come back and like pick at some details later, but overall, I mean, especially considering I sat down not really knowing what I was going to do with this. I mean, like, I started with this. I'm pretty happy about where it ended up. I'd say that actually, like, it's the most satisfying part about this for me was that what I'm looking at now is pretty close to what was in my head before sitting down to do this, and that feels really, really nice. Doesn't often happen. I feel like these days I'm getting closer to actually physically realizing what I conceptualize, and it just feels really nice to have that gap be a little smaller. Even though I'm sure it'll never close entirely, because you know, as you get more talented, you get more ambitious. More talented. As you skill up, as you put the hard work in, you get more ambitious mentally as well. So it's kind of, you know, ongoing, but I feel like what I've done with this, it feels to me like it shows how that I've come a little bit further skill-wise. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there, and I'm gonna remember to sign off from this chat. If I can find leave group on stream. There we go. And yeah, I'm gonna shut her down, and I will be back next Thursday at 2. I'll try to keep the schedule.